All right, we're going to try this again here. Round two. Sometimes, you can't succeed on the first attempt, so you just try it again. Recording from a hotel, or not recording, but yes, live from a hotel. So if I have issues with this and I cannot do it, then I'm just going to record it. It won't be live, and I'll post it. Hopefully, I don't have that issue. I haven't had an issue, and then the moment I hit "Let's go live," the internet was something happened. Somebody said not cool, Slee. So I'm going to do everything I can to try to get through this show. I think I mentioned you guys. So I got that half marathon coming up tomorrow, so I'm really close to where the location is. Blah blah blah. So that's why I'm here. Hopefully we can get through this. Lakers over the Houston Rockets. I feel like if I talk a little quieter, if I'm a little quieter, maybe that's less pressure on the internet. That's my strategy. My strategy is if I don't yell, then maybe the internet gets a little stronger. I did already shadow box in. I already came in. I was clapping when I came in. People didn't see the first. I got knocked out in the first round. I didn't get knocked out. I got hit to the ground, but I got back up after the first round. I appreciate you guys being here. Everybody be very quiet in the chat just in case with the internet. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys don't mind. Lakers over the Houston Rockets. Final score tonight, 140 to 109. All right, boys. That's it. Lakers handled business. Completely had to do what they had to do. And now they find themselves in the number 3 spot in the Western Conference. It's locked up. It's done. Nobody has to talk about it anymore. There are no other scenarios for the Lakers to move at all. I think for me, the thing that I'm most impressed with about the Lakers over these last 2 games was the fact that they had 2 games that they had to get against, some squads, the Dallas Mavericks, the Houston wasn't going to play anybody tonight. That's fine. I don't really care what the position or the situation that any other teams are in. I just care about, did the Lakers get the win or did they not? And they did get the W. So they got the win, obviously, in both of these games. They lock up, like I mentioned. The most important thing was grabbing that number 3 seed. Lakers were obviously able to do that. I'm very curious to hear from JJ Redick. LeBron left the game in the third quarter. Now, granted, the Lakers weren't playing for anything. So how much was this just of LeBron saying, you know what, I'm not going to, why am I going to push anything or anything along those lines? But the look on his face didn't look like the happiest character in the world. Obviously, he looked a little bit frustrated with the situation. That's something that we'll have to keep an eye on. Something that I did see, and as we kind of sit here, and this is going to be part of our conversation, I was looking at some of the scores around the NBA. And, obviously a lot of games going on. A lot of them have a lot to do with the results for the Lakers. And I saw that Clippers game 101-100. They beat Sacramento. So we'll take a look at all that. We'll obviously pay close attention to the standings, and we'll take a look at the question now is going to be who the Lakers are going to play. So you get the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. That's that. We're good there. I think the main thing for me, and I'll talk a little bit about this game, but honestly, I'm going to talk probably more about big picture. But you got the win tonight. You lock up that number 3 seed. And now the only questions left is who are you going to play? Lakers accomplished something that I don't know if most people thought they were going to do this year. And I'm not telling you that they're breaking a record. 50 wins on the season. I think that's a great milestone for the Lakers to be at. And then, obviously the other piece of this, which is really good news, is they don't have to play anybody coming up on Sunday. Nobody. The Lakers get to just literally hang out and chill on Sunday and not have to worry about anything. That means starting tomorrow, you have at least 7 days off. 7 days off, by the way, meaning they play next Saturday, or 8 days off potentially if, obviously they play a week from this upcoming Sunday. We'll see. Usually the Lakers probably going to be on that Sunday, 12:30. That's typically where the Lakers go when it comes to nationally televised games. So that's something to keep in mind there. But the biggest thing that I take away from tonight was you lock up that number 3 seed, and you could start kind of moving on. That's the only thing that I'm paying attention to. That's the only thing that I care about. Whoever they end up playing, moving forward, whoever they end up getting, that's that eventually is the Lakers' first round opponent, there's not really anything they can do about that. So Lakers obviously can't do anything about that, but what they can do is put themselves in the position like they did tonight to at least kind of let things play out on Sunday, and they don't have to worry about it. Rest is going to come for a lot of these starters. Rest is going to come for LeBron James. Health-wise, the Lakers look like they're in a good position walking into the playoffs. Camaraderie, I would say, is strong right now for the Lakers as well. So there's a lot of different areas I think right now are solid for the Lakers. And by the way, if I do mention anything from a game perspective, Houston didn't play anybody. They didn't care about this game. They earned the number 2 seed. They didn't have to play anybody. But Luka's walking into the playoffs playing his best basketball as a Laker, period. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. Luka right now is looking as good as he's looked since he's been a Los Angeles Laker. That obviously has a lot to do with your confidence level with the Lakers. I thought it was interesting. There was a point, I think it was at halftime. Maybe at halftime I was looking at the box score. And it had Luka around 20, maybe 21. And then Austin Reaves had 14. And then LeBron had 14 as well. And I looked at that. I'm looking at that balance. I'm like, is that not the perfect scenario for the Lakers? Luka's cooking. Luka's killing it. Luka's efficient on offense. Luka's making it happen from all, obviously from all parts of the floor. He's getting to the basket. Everything that you could think of that he could do, he obviously was making it happen. So from that perspective, you see that happening from Luka, and then you see other guys where there isn't as much pressure on LeBron, as much pressure on Austin Reaves. They're going to have to do their stuff anyways, but certainly from a Laker perspective, just phenomenal that they've put themselves in this position, and phenomenal, like I said, that Luka's cooking at the right time. Luka was really good these last couple of games. Let me look at Luka's stats these last couple of days. Let me just see specifically what he's done. I know he had the bad game against the Golden State Warriors. These are Luka's totals here over his last 5. Okay. 35, 6 and 6, 47% from the field. 30, 7 and 6, 55% from the field. 23 and 5, 46%. That's the game he got thrown out against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Against Dallas, 45, 8 and 6, and then tonight, 39, 8 and 7. I mean, you add up Luka's last 5 games. This is as good of a stretch as you got from Luka so far as a Laker. And you got to feel incredibly, incredibly good about that as we're getting closer to the playoffs. So Luka's rolling. It feels like the Lakers are rolling. They had some kind of tough wins over the last couple of weeks. They had some tough losses over the last couple of weeks. But the most important thing is everybody's healthy, everybody's ready, and it does feel like this team's connected to try to make some type of a run. I don't know who they're going to play in the first round. I was hoping Clippers would lose that game, for a couple of reasons. To be honest with you, and we could kind of let me look here at the standings here real quick, because I just want to see where that kind of puts everybody. But everybody won, so I don't think that really changes anything. Golden State still in the number 6 spot. I do know that the matchup that's coming, Memphis lost tonight, so Memphis is probably closer to being the number 8 seed, which I don't think anybody's too shocked or surprised about, to be honest with you. I think they're very, very vulnerable. But as we sit here today, I was thinking about it, and the reason why I wanted Clippers to lose, there is a part of me that would prefer not to play the Warriors in the first round, because I do think that's going to be a really tough matchup, and that's going to be a grind. I think there's also a part of me that just wants to see a new team against the Lakers in the playoffs. I feel like the Lakers have already had so many battles with the Warriors. Give me Minnesota. Give me a Clippers team. Like, I just want to see something different as well. So I think part of me says that. I don't think they're going to get Memphis. I know Memphis would be the easiest of matchups, but I don't think that's going to happen, which is why I don't really even kind of give that thought anymore. Maybe there was more thought to that, but Memphis is just completely going the wrong way. So the Grizzlies are not a team that I'm really even paying attention to. Prefer not to face Denver in the first round either, but I thought if the Clippers can lose that game to Sacramento, I don't know how they ended up winning that game. I just saw the final score was 101-100. So that's the only thing that I saw. All right, let's see what we got here, and we'll wait. And there is going to be, and a little bit later in the show, I'll kind of get into more of the strategy. Okay, what do other teams do on Sunday? Are there going to be teams that say, you know what, we don't want to play? They would prefer to play one team over the other, so maybe they're not going to play everybody. So I think part of me is just kind of, I'm curious to see what other teams' strategy is on Sunday. I mean, hell, are the Golden State Warriors, are they thinking to themselves, you know what, we'd prefer a different team. We don't want to play Lakers in the first round. Do they try to manipulate the system? I got no idea if that happens or not. All right, so the main takeaways from tonight is I started doing the post-game show, and then I was kicked off the internet. So that's the number one thing I think to take away. The number two thing that I take away is 50 wins for the Lakers this year. Lock up the number 3 seed. They don't got to worry about Sunday anymore. They get great rest before, obviously they get closer to the postseason. And that's just not something that's been associated with the Lakers. I mean, a lot of the people on here have been watching Lakers for a long time. That's not associated with the Lakers. Locking up a playoff spot, your top 3 in the Western Conference, you get to chill for a week and not do anything and just kind of rest and get ready to go, properly get your team prepared. The beauty is, too, on Sunday, this is kind of maybe you want to call it part of an advantage of not being the top 2. I know you want to be top 2. But one of the advantages of being the number 3 like the Lakers, they know who they're going to play in that first round come Sunday at 3 o'clock, right? By Sunday, we're going to know. Okay, let's take a quick listen here. JJ Redick is talking. For all I know, hopefully all this works okay. Here's JJ on the Lakers win.
Hopefully in the next 9 days, the $17,000 of damage to the carpet can get fixed. So it was about 8 ice buckets that was put on me. So, but I think it was just for our group, different versions of this team. For the guys that have been here all along, they went through every single peak and valley. I think even this third iteration of this team has gone through a bunch of peaks and valleys. I'm just incredibly proud of our team. It's an accomplishment to win 50 games in the regular season in any year. I think particularly in this year, in this Western Conference it is, and it's a credit to our players. Each one at different points in time has contributed to winning. They've all participated in a winning culture. And our coaching staff, our performance staff, everybody down the line, so it's a great group to be a part of. We want to go win one more game, and we'll figure out Sunday who we play in the first round.
The way that kind of Luka played on the trip and then coming into today and the rhythm that he's in going into the playoffs and just how significant do you think all of that is considering the rest of your team and kind of how it's coalescing?
Yeah, I think it's great for Luka. All 3 of those guys, Bron, AR, and Luka, I think this last week and a half have really found a nice rhythm, not just individually, but within what we're trying to do and playing together and using each other to create advantages. And we started working yesterday. We spent about 45 minutes this morning starting to just map out. We obviously don't know when we're going to play, but starting to map out next week. And it's going to be important over the next 8-9 days to stay in that rhythm, and we have to be smart about it. But there's still got to be some work next week. We want to prioritize rest and recovery, of course, but we got to also stay in that rhythm.
Speaking of recovery, LeBron checked out halfway through the third quarter, didn't return. We saw a wrap on his left side. Can you tell us anything about how he's feeling?
Let's find out here.
He's fine. Yeah, he's fine.
But you Eagles fan?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I only root for winners. I only root for winners. The Eagles, Florida Gators. I'm just kidding.
Hey, JJ, entering into Media Day, your first season, you said this is going to take time. You guys clinched the 3rd seed. You just had multiple ice buckets poured on you. How would you say your first season went?
It's not done. And I spent all of 3.5 minutes on the flight back from Dallas just thinking about making the playoffs and thinking about the coaching profession. And I think as a coach, you're obviously judged on regular season wins and losses and your ability to get to the playoffs. But I think the other two things that you're really judged on are the way you're able to handle the pressure of the playoffs, the adjustments, the in-game stuff. There's still so much work that we have to do, myself, our staff. And then I think you're also judged on the culture you create and whether or not your players and everybody in the building like coming to work.
All right, I am trying to figure out here every playoff scenario going in for Sunday. So here's what I was able to see. Here's what at least something I picked up from Anthony Slater, who covers the Golden State Warriors. Warriors will essentially get 3 cracks at the playoffs. Win Sunday versus the Clippers. By the way, that's the game. It's the Golden State Warriors taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. Win Sunday versus Clippers and their top 6 seed. Now, I think what he means by that is it depends on some of the other games that are going on. If they lose, then they'll very likely get the number 7 seed. Trying to see, what are the different scenarios for the Clippers as well. Some of the scores, what are the games? There's no games tomorrow. So they're purposely got no games going on tomorrow so they can put all the attention towards Sunday. If you're in the Eastern Conference, I think your game's at 10 a.m. If you're the Western Conference, your game's at 12:30. There's some layups here coming. Denver's going to play Houston. I imagine Denver doesn't play anybody or Houston doesn't play anybody. I have no idea. I'm just assuming. I mean, they haven't played anybody for 2 straight games. What would make you think they're going to all of a sudden play everybody on Sunday? I would be surprised if they do so. Memphis is in position to win, sort of. I mean, they've been we'll see. They're kind of all over the place, but they're playing the Dallas Mavericks, and I don't think anybody's obviously sold on the Mavs. Jazz at the Timberwolves, so Minnesota's going to win that game. And then the Warriors-Clippers game, that's the game. That's a game that could really help kind of clear up where everybody's going to be in this in the first round. So and that's the one thing that I will say. The piece of just having no idea who the Lakers are going to play is kind of comical, but at the same time makes it exciting. But there's going to be there's some squads got an easy one coming on Sunday, and then you got other ones that are going to be a dogfight. If the Golden State Warriors lost to the Los Angeles Clippers and now they're in the number 7 seed, most likely the number 7, they're obviously playing to win that game. Clippers will be playing to win that game. And then one of these, the way all of this just kind of unfolds is then you're rewarded the Lakers in the first round. You really don't have layups coming in the postseason anyways. Let me give you an example. Let's say Golden State wanted to avoid, or they wanted to kind of they didn't want to play the Lakers. Okay, then you got Houston in the first round, and you're in the play-in tournament. So I think, and this is the one piece that I kind of tell you that I'm probably most comfortable with the Lakers in this position. They will be favorites in any series. Denver, Golden State, Clippers, Minnesota, and they should be. That would be earned. Something I was talking about this morning when I was doing my show. If there's one thing to really, really pay attention to for the Lakers, how they got here. Nothing was handed to them. So I don't think they're walking into the Western Conference playoffs and they're trying to dodge this team or that team. First off, they're not even in a position to do that. They took care of business, and now whatever they want to do on Sunday, they'll do. They are the number 3 seed, but they earned it. I thought OKC was phenomenal all year. Give them all credit in the world. I thought Houston went through a stretch where they were really, really struggling. They were not playing good ball. And then all of a sudden, Houston, they got Fred VanVleet back, and they went on, I don't know if they won 9 out of 10, something along those lines, but they were phenomenal. They earned their spot at number 2. The Lakers, in this dogfight, they go 20-4. They find a stretch of games where they're playing as good as anybody. They're having a phenomenal stretch. LeBron gets injured. Rui was out before then. They lost a couple buzzer beaters. You don't know when LeBron's going to come back. Now you're like, this team is going to tank in the standings. When the dust settled, they're number 3. That's a great accomplishment for this team in the regular season. Now you all of a sudden you have expectations in this first round. You better win the first round. There is no, I mean, if we're sitting here, and I said this morning as well, if we're not talking about the second round of the playoffs and who the Lakers are playing on May 1st, and I remember April 30th is when I remember April 1st last year, Lakers were out. They lost in 5 games to Denver. It was a wrap. They lost in the last day of April, whatever it was. But by May 1st, I was going on radio and doing my shows and going on YouTube, and I'm like, that's it. It's different this year. Now you're a number 3 seed. Now you actually have realistic expectations. Now a lot of people around the league are looking at you and saying, man, I don't know if that's a team I want to play in the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka, I just gave you his stats his last 5 games. Go look at those stats. That's the best Luka has played in a 5-game stretch for the Lakers. And one of those games he had to leave early because one of the referees decided, you know what? This guy's getting more attention than me. Let me kick him out of the game. Luka's been phenomenal. Got to just make sure LeBron is fine. You heard, JJ Redick say that he's fine. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Okay. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Then we'll leave it at that. Obviously he's got to be healthy and good to go. But damn, what a difference here between, these last couple of years, or maybe what the expectations were coming in here, or you were praying for the, this route that the Lakers can have that's so much more beneficial and it's an easier route. I don't think you're looking at that anymore. I think it's kind of like, all right, whoever they get, and you'll figure it out. Golden State would be a dogfight. Don't get me wrong. They would be a dogfight. I'm still picking the Lakers. I actually genuinely feel like that game that the Warriors had against the Lakers where they won here in LA, and I listen, give them all the credit in the world. They were fantastic. Their shooting percentage was good. The ball was moving. Role players were hitting shots. They got to do that 4 times against the Lakers. Is it more common that you're going to have things that don't typically happen 4 times, or is it more common that the things are supposed to happen, or the players that usually do have success, that happens more often than not? All right, I got a lot of comments here to read. How far am I? 22 minutes in, I haven't even read one comment. What's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? All right, let me get a couple comments here. David Sabatini, love to chit-chat, Al. Dodgers postgame is on, but a shot of bourbon on me. Okay. All right, David. Padres won too, by the way. Make sure you at least throw that in there too. I mean, show me some love as well. Appreciate you throwing in the super there, David. Joser, congrats, Lakers family. Did it. Can't wait for the playoffs, Lee. Can we see your legendary fist pump for tonight's win and a great season? Got you, brother. I got you. A couple of these as well. That's all I do. I don't really have space here. I put myself in a corner here trying to make this look as best as I can. Michael, Joser, by the way, thank you very much for the super. David, thank you for the super. Michael Strauss. Slee, what do the Lakers need to improve in order to make a deep playoff run? Also, can you give a shout out to my father, John Strauss? That's right. John, thank you for listening to me in the ESPN days. Thank you for hanging out here. YouTube's really easy. Your son was telling me you're having some trouble with YouTube. Download the app, type in Sliwa, and then that's it. I'm back. That's how things are these days. Shout out to you, brother. We're driving back from the game, and he's a season ticket owner. All right, phenomenal. Glad you guys made it to the game. Thank you for tuning into the post-game show. Appreciate the super. John, thank you for being here. What do they got to do to make a deep playoff run? I'll kind of say, I have a similar theme for me of when the Lakers are at their best, and the success that they're going to have is just really going to come. Are you getting stops or not? Because I really, really do believe Luka's got to be the most aggressive of the Lakers on offense. LeBron and AR got to be right behind him. All these other players got to chip in. There is no championship run without Dorian Finney-Smith, Gabe Vincent. Go look at past Laker teams. It was Andrew Bynum, Lamar Odom, Rick Fox, Robert Horry, Sasha, Devin George. Go down the list of all these different players, that Derek Fisher, that all had contributions in championships. Brian Shaw, this is how it works. You got to have role players that contribute. But if you can't get stops on defense, and if this team is giving up 125 and trying to score 127 or 130, it's not going to be a long playoff run. Teams that go deep in the playoffs, the pace slows down. You allow your stars to shine more. You slow down the game. You don't allow these young up-and-coming players to run you out of the gym. You play your style of basketball. And I think the Lakers have a unique style on defense. They might not be big, as in they got a lot of 7-footers, but they got a lot of just 6'7", 8, 9. They got a lot of basketball players that don't get pushed around and like playing, in the mud, if you like to say. So that, to me, those are the things now, kind of one series at a time. We'll see. Every matchup's going to be different. How they play the Golden State Warriors would be wildly different of how they would play Denver, right? The Warriors are going to go, their biggest guy is going to be 6'8" in the starting lineup. Denver, you got Nikola Jokic, you got Aaron Gordon, you got some other guys, see if Jamal Murray is healthy. How they play Minnesota will be wildly different in the first round. So I think a lot of it's also going to depend on what the matchups look like. Michael, thank you again, brother. I appreciate you being here. And thank you to your dad here. I appreciate you guys joining. AR, Slee, thank you for the show, brother. If you are an MVP member, you are family. If you are subscribed to the channel, you are a valuable guest. So please become an MVP member. Let's go, Lake Show. AR, you're dropping a 20 to throw a little promo in there for me. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Yes, you can be an MVP member. It's $3 a month, and I hope you guys will consider it and supporting the channel. Let me get Austin Reaves going. I'm going to leave AR's comments right there, and we'll keep things going.
What's the feeling of accomplishment for this group tonight?
Feels good. We've obviously been through ups and downs throughout this year. I was joking with my best friend the other day, talking about how I feel like this year's been 5 years in total, but then again, feels like it just started at the same time. Like, as much as this group's been through, every time we hit any type of adversity, we bounce back, and that's all you can ask in a group.
A couple weeks ago, JJ mentioned building a playoff mentality, and it seems like you guys have taken a big step in that since everybody got healthy on March 22nd. What have you seen from that perspective, and I guess where you guys care from the last couple weeks into the playoffs starting next week?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, playoff time is all about executing and, paying attention to the details. You can win by the, smallest margin, or you can lose by, a couple mess ups. So you have to be sharp every single possession. You obviously know you're not going to be perfect, but anytime you strive to be perfect, the better your team's going to be. So just taking that, into the season or into the postseason is very important for us.
Austin, there's a stat that's circulated recently that 76 of 78 NBA champions have been top 3 seeds. You guys locked up the number 3 seed. Do you feel like you guys are building towards that and have a real shot at that based on where you're at in the playoff seeding?
Yeah, I mean, I did not know that stat, so thanks. Yeah, we feel very comfortable with what we got in the locker room. From front office, coaching staff to players, we're all locked into one goal, and that's to win a championship. And like I said, we feel very comfortable with what we have. We can play different ways, and then. We got, the best player to ever play the game, and then, probably arguably going to be, one of the best players to ever play the game in Luka. And then around that, we have guys that are just bought into winning, and that's what you need when you're trying to make a run like that.
Austin, back here, what kind of impact has J.J. Redick had on this team?
Huge. When the Lakers hired him, I had talked to him a couple times previously, and I knew his IQ of the game. But obviously there was all the talks about he's never coached at any type of high level or anything like that, and since day one, he's been super professional, super locked into one goal, and that's getting the team to buy into what the coaching staff wants. So he's been huge in what we've done, and I can't give him enough credit for what he's done for me, the team. Happy to, go to war for him any day.
All right, I'm going to stop her right there. We'll keep things going here. That's Austin Reaves right there. It probably... I don't know. Every time I mention it, I'm like, am I mentioning it too much? JJ, just a What a brilliant season for him. Regular season. I'll go back to there's some certain people that I've talked to in the past or I've had on my show, and a lot of them have said, hey, whatever he's done in the regular season, it's going to be wildly different in the playoffs. But I got to be honest with everybody. I got a lot of confidence in J.J. Redick. Like, I don't think J.J. Redick's trying to cheat the system. I don't think J.J. Redick's not going to be motivated. I don't think J.J. Redick is, I think J.J. Redick will be losing sleep and he'll be wildly competitive for his first playoff run with the Lakers. And the success that he's had this year with 50 wins, locking the number three seed up in the Western Conference, playing through a lot of just kind of weird circumstances. If one thing I'd like to give him credit for, never really felt like JJ was making excuses for the Lakers. If things weren't going right, guys got injured, a trade that happens in the, obviously a seismic trade like the Lakers had, the Mark Williams trade not going down, thinking you don't have enough big men. What do you want me to tell you about JJ Redick? And JJ came in with a lot of people saying, why are the Lakers hiring JJ Redick? What has he earned or what has he done to earn the head coaching job of the Los Angeles Lakers? This is BS. This guy's just a podcaster with LeBron James. I don't think people are really saying that right now. And by the way, I don't care if people were saying that before. I think that's fine. I think you have every right. I remember when they hired JJ Redick, I'm like, I have no idea how he's going to do. I don't have any information on him. I don't have any data on him. How am I supposed to know if JJ Redick's going to win 35 games for the Lakers or 50? Based off of what? He's been phenomenal this year. Just phenomenal. As simple as I can put it, what are you really going to bitch and complain about JJ Redick? Are you going to say he's too stubborn and he sticks with lineups that don't work? Are you going to say that he has favorites and he plays too much of the favorites? Are you going to say he doesn't know when to use his timeouts? Are you going to say he doesn't draw up enough plays? Like, okay, maybe there's some times I would tell you that too much ISO ball, but I think that's just more the nature of the players that the Lakers have on this team, and he's trying to kind of accommodate to them. But for the most part, do we got anything negative to say about JJ Redick? I mean, and again, he has not done anything yet in the playoffs. So until he does something in the playoffs, there is going to be a little bit of, all right, well, listen, if the Lakers got their asses kicked in the first round, okay, we have a conversation then. Then you could start having a conversation. Then you could sit back and you could say, man, he really, really got out-coached in the postseason. But we'll wait. I mean, this is the best way I could describe it. We'll wait. You know what? We'll have to kind of wait and see. Just like in the regular season, we had to wait and see, and this is what he was able to do. All right, let me take a look at some of these. Let me take a look at these comments. Same, I was wrong about JJ. Yeah, listen, I didn't really have a strong opinion on JJ. It was tough for me to have an opinion on JJ. I mean, was it worrisome? Sure. Were the connections to him and LeBron like, oh, here's LeBron pulling another string? Sure. Of course those were all there. But he's been real deal. I mean, if he's anything like this man that they're putting in the comments here, I mean, Sean McVay that's the reason why the Los Angeles Rams are in the mix every single year. Sean McVay. That's why they're in the mix every single year. Throw any curveball at him, Sean McVay, I'll figure it out. Now, Sean McVay also cashed one in, also got to the Super Bowl twice. I mean, hell, they probably gave Philly the biggest headache this year, and Philly ends up winning a Super Bowl. I mean, they're in the mix. They're in the mix every single year. So I understand the comp, but at the end of the day, obviously he's just in his first year and he'll have to do a lot. So I just wanted to read a couple of those just because I think he's been, wildly successful in his first year and probably really probably surpassed anybody's expectations. Lakers win 50 games this season, lock up the 3 seed, and trolling is crazy work. What am I missing here? What's the negativity that anybody can have right now on the Lakers? If you got negativity, wait at least till the playoffs. I mean, they locked up the number 3 seed. they were in a position a couple of weeks ago where you really didn't think that was going to happen, and they just kind of kept their head above water. And won some key games in the last 2 weeks. That win against the Thunder, splitting against the Thunder, beating Houston, winning at Memphis, and handling business against Dallas, handling business tonight. These were all huge wins. I mean, kind of put them in the position that they're in. All right, let me see what else we got here. Luka's talking. Let's get to Luka. I'll go back to some of your comments here in just a second. Luka on Lakers win, 50-win season.
Your last stretch of games here has certainly been your best, just in terms of efficiency. And how are you feeling that at the same time? And how much kind of confidence does it give not just yourself but the team as you head into the postseason?
Yeah, big confidence. Especially getting back in my rhythm. It's important for me. It's important for the team. So I can do everything to help the team win.
Kind of on that note, over this last 3-4 game stretch, you're finishing at the rim or near the rim. The efficiency has gone up? Is that related to comfort? Like you kind of mentioned rhythm yourself. Physically, just where is that, improved efficiency coming from for you?
Yeah, I think just getting physically better. When I drive the ball, I think, like I said, it helps the team a lot. Sometimes around the rim I can score, but sometimes there's so many guys in the paint that I can create a lot of open shots. So that's what I need to keep doing.
Luka, I was wondering if you could talk about the lob chemistry you guys have on this team. It feels like everyone's just always ready, and like you're kind of leading that charge. Can you just speak to that? Is it something you guys practice or prepare for or talk about, or is it just kind of you guys give each other the eyes and just get it?
Yeah, for me, I was always kind of, looking for lobs. Not for me to pass it, but we don't work on it. It's just kind of the feeling we have with each other on the court. And like I said, it's getting better.
Luka, you've packed a ton in a short amount of time since you came here. You even stayed an extra night in Dallas, did another appearance. It's been nonstop for you. How will this 9 days or so leading up to the start of the first round benefit you?
Big time. I got to get some rest, obviously. But, the good part of the season is coming. So got to stay ready, got to stay locked in. But for sure, a little bit of rest is going to be great for me.
All right, we'll stop right there, keep things going. Luka in the playoffs. Damn. What's it going to look like with Luka in the postseason? Luka rocking a Laker jersey in the playoffs? What? I'd have told that to everybody a couple of months ago. Be like, Slee, yeah, you should probably just, you've gone crazy. That's going to be fascinating. I was reading off some of Luka's stats over the last 5 games. Best stretch that he's had as a Laker. And he's putting up like big time numbers. Top five player in the league type of numbers, which is what we all think he is. Hasn't been that on a consistent basis this year, but that more just has to do with his injury that he had, kind of coming back and all that stuff. But Luka playing his best ball going into the playoffs, and Luka has been the best version of himself so far in his NBA career in the playoffs. That's exciting. That's pretty interesting to watch. You're kind of think about some of the biggest moments that Luka's had so far. You think about the game against at Denver. By the way, I love it when they're road games. Road games, it feels like, just my experience watching the NBA, watching some of these greats play, some of those legends out there, they just thrive when 19,000 fans are cheering against them. At Denver, walks into Denver. Lakers blow out the Nuggets. I've always had difficulty with Denver. Lakers win by 23. Luka leads the Lakers. The OKC game that he had, just brilliant. Thunder, best defense in the NBA. They got all these guards that can guard Luka Doncic and wing players that can guard him. Like none of these players are even in front of him does what he does. The game against Dallas, everybody's watching. You got everybody watching Luka go back to Dallas. He's emotional. 45 for you. What's Luka going to be in the playoffs as a Laker with LeBron? That's exciting. I just hype myself up right now. I have my half marathon tomorrow. I'm going to go out right now. I'm going to get 8 of the miles in right now and then come back and do 5 in the morning and then call it a day. That's going to be phenomenal to see that. That's going to be phenomenal to see that. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's take a look at some of these comments here, and then we'll keep going here. Some people want to hate on here. That's okay, you know. People are funny. I let people do their thing. I want to go back to AR here real quick. Thank you, AR. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for promoting the channel, and I appreciate the 20 spot, buddy. HH giving some love. HH, thank you, brother. Thank you for that super sticker. HH is a man that just comes on the chat. Slee, got you. Thank you for the support, brother. I appreciate you. Chuck, can we please get MT on next week? All right, let me work on that. Yeah, next week, off week. Maybe not next week. I'm going to say the following week. I'll tell you why. Maybe I'm able to get him on Friday. Next week, to give everyone an idea of my schedule. So I'll be on at 8 a.m. I got Geeter coming on Monday, Chris McGee. He's going to come on at, I think, 8:30. Dan Wyke of the LA Times is going to join as on Tuesday. Wednesday, I want to leave open because I want to find out who the Lakers are going to be playing, and I want to bring in somebody from their perspective, whoever the Lakers are going to be playing. Thursday, no show. I'm taking Thursday off. All right? Little Sliwa day. Little mental health day, right? Kind of take a break for a second here. Got to make those happen. Running my own business, I might as well kind of make sure I'm taking care of myself too. That's going to be Thursday. I'm going to take day off, and then I'm still trying to figure out Friday if I'm going to do a show in the evening and wait for all the playoffs and just kind of do a full playoff preview type of thing of the entire NBA. We'll see. I'm still kind of planning that out. MT, if not this upcoming week, I'll work on the following week. Thank you, brother. And I appreciate the suggestion too. Seiko getting in here. Clippers have tiebreaker on Golden State. No incentive to win. As in they'd have the same record. I guess what will depend is if other teams lose. Yeah, there is, Seiko. I think what you're trying to say is if they win, they're going to be locked into the 6th seed. If they lose, Clippers wouldn't jump them. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, if the Warriors win, they're not jumping the Clippers, I think what you're trying to say. Here's the problem. You don't know what the tiebreakers are with the teams behind you, Minnesota and some of these other squads. So I don't know the full tiebreakers. I keep kind of looking here, and I'm waiting for somebody to break down the whole thing because I'm expecting that to happen here shortly. It will, they'll play out all the scenarios. But there are other teams, aside from the Golden State Warriors. You got to ask yourself, okay, what's the tiebreaker between the Warriors and the Minnesota Timberwolves? I don't know that, but I know if the Warriors lost, now you're looking at potentially dropping to the number 7 seed. So there's still a lot at play here. Let's get some more in here. Hero. See, just make sure LeBron's not talking. Slee, what a time to be a Laker fan. Luka has brought some to LA. Bron's leadership is key. AR is special, and team looks like they're gelling. Yeah, I don't mind admitting this. I've kind of said this before, that when that trade initially happened, I didn't think things were going to click like this. And I really thought there was a moment there where we thought they got Mark Williams, and you kind of thought to yourself, okay, no, if they got Mark Williams, then they're going all in right now. Obviously Dalton Connect they're not using, and that's just kind of comes with the nature of him being a rookie. That draft pick, okay, is what it is. Mark Williams can help you right now. When that trade didn't happen, it was like, okay, well, you know what? It's not supposed to be this year anyways. And when I say this year, I'm talking about more just competing, really, really being in the mix. Feels like the Lakers are in the mix. I mean, if I told you right now, give me 5 teams, title favorites going into the playoffs, you can't have a conversation without throwing the Lakers in there. You just can't. They have to be in the mix somewhere. You could say Boston, Cleveland, OKC, and then you pick whoever you want, but Lakers got to be one of those. Maybe it's Lakers, Houston. Maybe it's Lakers, Golden State. I mean, you got Luka and LeBron on the same team. Will size be an issue? Will rebounding be an issue? Will defense be an issue? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you for the superhero. John Aguirre. Home court matters. Please comment, Slee. Home court Definitely. I mean, listen, I do think that grabbing that number 3 seed, the number 3 seed was important for the Lakers for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think staying out of staying out of the Thunder bracket. I mean, to be honest with you, after seeing the way the Lakers played them the last couple of games, I got a lot less worried about the Thunder. I just thought, okay, hey, the Lakers can win that series. I mean, based on the 2 games they played in OKC, they went toe-to-toe with them. OKC threw everything in that second game on Tuesday, and Lakers were hanging with them with 7 minutes left to go before Luka got thrown out. But I do think staying out of that bracket will be helpful. We'll see who the Lakers get in the first round. I think Houston's going to be a dogfight in the second round. The problem with Houston is, if you told me Houston or OKC, I'd rather play Houston. I think Houston's going to muddy the water. I think it's going to be very, very ugly against Houston. I think it's going to be a long series against Houston. But the Rockets' main problem is going to be, who's their go-to guy to go get buckets when they need it? Because if it's Green, all right, well, how come we didn't see Green in the final couple of minutes against the Lakers and he only had 9 points? But then I saw Green against the Golden State Warriors flat out hit shot after shot and have 30 plus. I don't know who it's going to be. I think the Rockets are a year away. Let's put it that way. That would be my thought there. I think the Rockets are a year away. All right, let's kind of go back and forth here. I'm going through some supers and then I'm going through some regular comments as well. Let's see. Avoid OKC in the second round, which they did. Might be tired, but by the time they reach the Western Conference Finals, also avoid Denver. Denver just fired everybody. Let me tell you what it will come down to Denver. Is Jamal Murray healthy or no? If Jamal Murray's healthy, Denver is still Denver and they could be dangerous. And you know what? Maybe firing your coach and your GM. I was reading some stuff, listening to some different things about kind of what happened there in the front office. It sounds like they needed some change. There was some turmoil. They were going to do this all in the offseason anyway, so they just decided, let's just do it now and see if this helps us, because where they were heading, they didn't think they were going to win. But it's going to come down to Jamal Murray. If Jamal Murray's healthy and he could go and he's giving Denver the real Jamal Murray that the Lakers have seen these last 2 years in the playoffs, Denver can be healthy, or Denver can be a problem. They got the best player in the world. And they got good role players as well. They don't have enough of them. They obviously got rid of some other key role players, but they're still a good squad. All right, let's get another one in here. Let's see. People, Denver is cooked. There's a divide between the players. Whatever divide there was, they got rid of. You were either on the GM's camp or the coach's camp. And they're like, cool, so why don't we just fire both camps? And then we'll just start clean with 3 games left to go in the regular season. That's what they decided to do. Let's get another one in here. Just want to get the regular chat, and then I'll go back. Let's see. No Ego wants to come on the show and set some of these jokers straight. No Ego, I feel like you lit a fire. Every comment I see, I just see them responding back to you. No Ego, do me a favor. No cursing. No, just be respectful. I want you to fire off a comment, a point that you were trying to make that maybe I didn't read, okay? But make some sense if you're going to do it. And be respectful if you do it. And if you do all that, I'll take a look at it. I need good points. I need people adding to the channel, right? Let me get something in here that you feel like, hey, here's a point that I want to make, and I want to go at all these other people that are in the chat, make a good point. And if it's good, I'll throw it in here. If it's not, I got to move on. All right, I'll keep an eye out for that. Got some supers here that I got to get into. Luka Lethal is full of... Oh, guys, I mean, this... I don't know how many times I have to keep saying this, and it might get annoying that I say it. We're about to watch Luka in the playoffs. Like Lakers against whoever it is with Luka running the show here. LeBron's been perfect on how he's balancing his act, too. He really has. He's been phenomenal. I give LeBron all the credit in the world. Seiko, Laker coaches to win division first year. JJ, 24-25. Paul West had 79-80. Riley, 81-82. Jerry West, 86-87. Jerry West, 86. By the way, I know division used to mean more before, but that's an interesting stat there, and I appreciate you putting out there. That just kind of shows. I mean, that talks about how good he's been so far for the Lakers in his first year. So let's not sugarcoat any of that. All right. Well, I tried putting it up there again. Okay. I'll find it. If I find it, I'll throw it on there. Aaron Gordon, 33 points tonight. Rudy Gobert had 35 and 11. Kawhi had 28 and 6. I'm looking at obviously Spectrum right now, and then Luka 39, 8 and 7. Man, Luka's chilling. Luka's just now. It's like just another day in the office run. All right, let's read this. No ego. I'm going to take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Let's see what we got here. If we got some substance to this and you feel like it's adding, that's what I want to see. All right, let's see what we got. Lakers never want to beat teams fair and square. They're always looking for help. Jordan's Bulls said, we want the Pistons, who were the champs, and beat them. Lakers are ducking OKC, a pup team. Okay. All right. Now, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Laker fans? Are you talking about, like, I'm curious to see who you're talking about, because I told you, you come up, you make your point, and I'm going to be happy to read your point as long as it makes sense and it adds to the conversation. Let's look at just the Lakers here for a quick second. Don't pay attention to the chat. Don't pay attention to Laker fans. Look at the actual team, okay? Lakers had the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday. By the way, this is going to make for a good conversation. Lakers had the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday. Big game for the Lakers. Important that they try to get that win. You know that. Everybody knows that, right? We know how big that game was going to be for the Lakers. They won that game. They didn't duck the Oklahoma City Thunder. They won by 27. Do you know what happened 2 days later? The Lakers had a chance to sit everyone. Everyone thought they were going to sit everyone against the Oklahoma City Thunder that Tuesday. Why? Because they already got that 1 W, and now you can kind of start looking towards the future and saying, okay, you got a second of a back-to-back coming against Dallas. They could have easily sat everybody on that game on Tuesday. Easily could have sat everybody. Don't pay attention to what I'm saying or what somebody in the chat saying. Just pay attention to the actions from the team and the coaching staff. You know what the Lakers did? They played everybody. And OKC came out and up 8, 10, whatever it was. OKC looked like, you know what? Thunder wanted some payback. And then all of a sudden at halftime, it was an awful first half for the Lakers. Gave up 80 in the first half. They're down, but they're only down 8, 80-72. They didn't sit anybody in the second half. Lakers were going for, I would call, I would say Lakers were trying to send a message to OKC in the regular season. Not only did we beat you once on your home floor, first time Luka's been with his team, first time you've seen this team, but when you throw your best punch 2 days later, we're right here going toe for toe with you. They were in if it's a 12-round fight, they were in the 10th round, and you're looking at the scorecard, and it's like, all right, they got 5 rounds, they got 5 rounds. Luka got thrown out of the game, and the game was over. Do you think the Lakers were ducking the Oklahoma City Thunder? Do you think they were ducking them? Tell me how you think they were ducking them. There's no, again, I don't care about what I say, and I don't care about what the comments say. See what the actions of the Lakers were. They're not ducking the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know what they might do? And for all I know, maybe Lakers on Sunday, where I'm sitting here, hey, take the day off and nobody plays. Maybe they play guys on Sunday. I don't know. But I don't think they were ducking anybody. And, I don't know about comparing eras, because I think a lot of people that are, by the way, let me say this. Those in the comments who now want to go at him for his comment, it's okay. That's his opinion. It's his opinion. No one's trying to sit here and body slam another person. Let's have a dialogue. Let's have a conversation. That's all. None of this is personal. We're all just having a conversation. But I don't think they were trying to duck him. Maybe in the comments, and maybe you find me sometimes saying, hey, I would prefer not to play the Thunder in the first, but I'm not playing in the game. I'm not in the game. I could tell you one thing. I don't think LeBron's trying to duck anybody. I don't think Luka's trying to duck anybody. I don't think Austin Reaves. I don't think JJ Redick's trying to duck anybody. I think they're basically saying, you throw whoever you want at us, and we'll give it our best shot. All right, let's. After all that, these guys are no match for me. They know that, Slee. That's awesome. Love the confidence. Love the confidence. Love the confidence. You ever play basketball with somebody, misses 4 in a row, and he's like, next one, nylon. Nothing but net. All right, that was fun. I don't know what the hell that was, but I had a good time. Rozo Mosa. Pre and post Luka trade situations on the Lakers feel like they are years apart. Remember, the Lakers had that embarrassing loss against Miami. Now Lakers are the 3 seed and Luka is the Laker. It's a fun chat, by the way. I'm enjoying this post-game show tonight. Started off rocky, but we're here. We're hanging out. A lot of good comments here. Rosa, I appreciate the comment. And thank you very much for the super. I appreciate that as well. Can I ask everybody to do me a quick favor? Can you guys subscribe to the channel? Can you guys take 2 seconds to subscribe to this channel? If you guys like what I'm doing here, if you guys like the content that I'm putting out, if you guys respect the work that I'm doing, if you could subscribe to the channel, I'd appreciate that. This year, what a kind of, this year is all over the place. Lakers go from, expectations. It's like, here we go again. Can they just stay out of the play-in tournament? Man, something hit me across the face earlier this week on Wednesday. And I think this goes to the pre and post Luka trade situation. I mean, AD is not even a Laker anymore. And I'm watching that game and I'm like, AD, what are you doing? You got Luka on the other side. People are saying this is the worst trade in the history of the NBA, and your name's attached to it. And you're a damn good player, and you helped the Lakers win an NBA championship. You were a key piece. You were as good as Bron in that championship run because of what you were doing on the defensive side as well. And that dude came out, and by the time that game was over, I'm like, all right, I'm done with Anthony Davis. Whatever that was, that was. I'm not talking about him anymore. There's nothing more to talk about. And I'm a fan of Anthony Davis. But pre and post Luka trade situations, what the expectations were before, who's going to kind of carry the torch to the future? What's it going to look like down the road? The fact that, we're still sitting here and to just kind of think where everybody was a couple months ago. And by the way, I was actually optimistic about the Lakers. Before the trade happened with Anthony Davis, it was like, hey, I feel like they're going in the right direction. I was a big fan of the Dorian Finney-Smith move. Our Lakers are going to go get another big. Remember, a few days before AD got traded, he goes and does an interview, sit down with Shams Charania, and they're talking about how, hey, this is how I won an NBA championship. I had another big that I was playing with. I had 2 other bigs I was playing with. And then he shipped out, and, not a lot of people are talking about AD anymore. They're just not. The attention is completely shifted. And Luka's starting to look like freaking Luka Doncic. Luka's starting to look like that player that we all know that we're accustomed to. When you say, hey, give me the top 5 players in the league, you're not getting past your first 5 fingers without mentioning Luka. And even right now, when we kind of sit here and I think there's levels to the game. And I think we've seen about 80% of Luka. And technically, if you go see the numbers Luka puts out in the playoffs, I mean, he puts out numbers in the playoffs. So where that goes from here, that goes from here. Rosa, thank you very much for the super there. I appreciate it. Kostas, good luck tomorrow, Slee. I'm also running the Rotterdam Marathon tomorrow. Luckily, we are relaxing with the Lakers. Okay, but you're actually doing a real marathon. I'm doing a half. I've done a half before. Done a couple halves before, but I haven't done a half in probably 8 years or something like that. So I'm gonna get out there bright and early. I'm gonna have I'm gonna smoke a couple cigs, a little bourbon before we get started. Maybe have a pastrami sandwich. You know what I mean? Just to kind of got to burn some calories. You got to get some calories burnt, and then then we'll just go from there. Figure it out from there. Who doesn't have a couple cigs before a half? All right, let me see some of the comments here. Okay. Slee, what's your time for the half marathon? A day and a half. Day and a half. Yeah, I'll be done probably by the time Lakers finish the Blazers. Couple cigs in, and then go from there. I'm not running for time. I'm running for completion. Let's just put it that way. Bring on anybody. No cupcake Celtics-esque path. Well, guys, here's what's funny. We can all kind of stick our chest out and say to ourselves, I'll fight anybody here, right? Like, I get that. You don't control what your path is. If there's a path that's easier, and that's just the path that's easier, you take it. If that's not the path, then you just don't have any choice on it. Either way, to get to the NBA Finals, especially in the Western Conference, you got to be a really, really good team. Like, I think that's the piece. Go look at how good the West is. Go look at, and I'm not even telling you that everybody's great. I think the West is actually pretty open. If OKC got to the finals, it wouldn't shock me. If the Lakers got to the finals, it wouldn't shock me. They're going to have to go through some teams. If Houston got to the finals, they went through some, then they rolled up their sleeves and got things really dirty and are ahead of schedule. If Golden State got there, it's like they've been there before. If Denver got there, they've been there before. So you can't really, the Western Conference is less about you're dodging certain teams. Whether it's the first round or the Western Conference Finals, you're playing excellent competition every single night. All right, let me get some more comments in here. Love the show. Play the interviews a tad longer when you can. Find some gems in there. Thought JJ was celebrating with a water bit, then cleared it up saying job's not finished. Mark, appreciate the suggestion. Thank you. Sometimes I'll tell you, there's part of a reason why I don't play all of the interview. Because if I played all of the interview of all these guys, it's tough for me to get to the comments. I want the comments to be a part of the show. I mean, I got a number of comments that I'm still going to get into. I got a ton of them that are in the super. I want to give my opinion as well. So that's probably why it has something to do with that. But I appreciate the suggestion. Warriors or Timberwolves, who's your choice? I said this a little bit earlier. I think I'm just kind of bored with the Warriors. Like, I feel like I've seen that script so many times. You guys tell me this, and maybe you guys feel the same way. And I know they just got Jimmy Butler, and I know all that stuff. But I just want to see something different. Like, I would love to see the Lakers take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. By the way, will it be a tough matchup? Sure. Will it be a dogfight? Sure. Of course it will be. So will the Warriors. But I think for me, I feel like I've gone to that restaurant how many times? I feel like I whatever the Golden State Warriors offer, I've tasted that food. I've got a chance to try it. We've gone there a number of different times. Can we just get a different restaurant? Can I just try out a different menu? And I feel like that's what the Minnesota Timberwolves would be. And I think Lakers would beat both teams. So I don't think this, it's this drastic. If you said Memphis or Minnesota, Memphis or Golden State, give me Memphis. So it's a kind of hopefully a cakewalk, a cakewalk, and then you get, Houston if they're the ones that are there. Slee, we need the scheduled sweep versus Memphis. So what a chance. Here's the problem. Memphis is collapsing, which means they're going to end up the 7 or the 8 seed. By the way, I wouldn't be shocked if we're sitting here on Sunday afternoon or a week from tonight and Memphis fell into the play-in and then couldn't get out of the play-in. Would you be shocked? I wouldn't be shocked. That's how bad they've been. All right, let's keep going here. Memphis already locked in playing. All right, well, there's your answer there. And by the way, that's the worst surprise ever. I think everybody was already thinking that. Realistically, how far can we go? At this stage, it feels like if you didn't at least at the minimum get to the second round and have this absolute dogfight against the Houston Rockets, and then I'm just making up a story, right? And they lost in 7 against Houston and it was just a dogfight. That I think becomes like the bare minimum of what your expectations are for this team. I think that's a safe way to say it. A safe way to say it is that would be the bare minimum. How far can this team go? I mean, they've been really, really good against teams in the Western Conference. They've been really, really good against the more elite teams in the NBA. I think anything can happen with this Lakers team. I really actually genuinely believe that. If you told me today that, hey, Lakers are in the Western Conference Finals and they got a 2-1 edge on the Oklahoma City Thunder in a month, would that surprise anybody? I don't think that would surprise anybody. But it's tough for me also to I don't know if you want to just kind of they haven't even started. We don't even know who their first round opponent is yet. So part of me just kind of like wants to pump the brakes. It's like, can we just find out who they're playing in the first round? But how realistically, how far can they go? Guys, they got a good team. They got star power too. They got guys that understand their role. They have the makeup of a team that can go deep in the playoffs. Ryan, appreciate the super there, brother. Thank you very much. And then Ryan follows up a super with a super. Great season from our coach and team. What playoff bracket path would you prefer? Wolves, Warriors, first round, and so on. So I think I gave a little bit of if you told me right now, I would take Clippers or Wolves in that first round, and I'd take my chances with that. Plus, it's just new blood, and I think it would be exciting to see a different team in the playoffs. That's the path that I want. Then you got no choice after that. It's probably going to be Houston, and then you roll from there. So Ryan, just to kind of go back what I was saying with that other comment, I just want to see something different. And I do think the Warriors just have so much championship experience. It'd be nice to not play the Warriors in the first round. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the super here. Okay, I got a couple more of these supers I want to get through. Then I got a couple thoughts on Sunday's game, and then we're going to call it a day. Slee, Lakers not scheming, just winning. Lakers beat OKC. Warriors, Denver, Minnesota, and Houston in the last 30 days. They ain't ducking nobody. The only game I take out of that is Denver, or no, the only game I take out of that is the Warriors because it was the first time we've seen them with Jimmy, with Steph. Luka was playing. So that's one game that the Lakers didn't win. But for the most part, everybody that you've put in front of the Lakers, they've done working. So, John, I think it's a good point. And they're clearly not scheming. They're literally just trying to win every game. They'll probably try to win on Sunday because JJ is just, I don't know. When it comes to some of this stuff, it seems like this is what he's doing. Alex, Big Al, buckle up for Lakers Celtics finals. Celtics are good. I've been saying this from the beginning that everyone's still chasing the Celtics. They're the team to beat. They're the most complete team. They just won the championship. I feel like part of them was coasting in the regular season because they already knew that, all right, well, we know what we're doing here. That's still the team to beat. That's until somebody takes out the Boston Celtics, that's still the best team in the league, in my opinion. And would it be a complete battle? Of course it would. Definitely be a complete battle. By the way, how much fun would that be? Luka getting a rematch against the Celtics. It's Lakers Celtics. Luka just lost to the Celtics a year ago. Bron going up against Boston again. Oh my God. All right, let's slow down here. Boy, slow down here. Just a dream. Luka first ring and gets finals MVP over LeBron. What a great passing the baton moment. Will that be? Bron retires on a high with a 5th ring. If Lakers got a championship this year, I don't think Bron's going anywhere. I think Bron's saying to himself, I'm gonna go get my 6th ring next year. Yeah, I have thought about that. I have thought about the more success Luka has, but if there are people out there that don't like LeBron and, just don't personally like him, and there's a lot of people out there that don't personally like him, I don't care. A lot of people let personal things get in the way, politics, all that stuff. I appreciate one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and I enjoy watching him play basketball. How seamless has Bron been to, oh, Luka's here? Cool. No, I'll just adjust my game. I'll just adjust my game. Yeah, but Bron, you used to have the ball in your hands. Yeah, that's cool. No, I'll play off ball. No. I'll let him cook in the first half, and then when I feel like the timing is right, then I'll step in and I'll do what I do. Bron's been phenomenal. I don't think people are giving Bron enough credit of how easy he just adjusted with having Luka on the floor. And obviously, he's a smart player and understands in order for this team to have success, hey, if Luka's got to be the one dropping 35, go get your 35. Are we winning? Cool. Just win. I'm going to promote one quick thing here, and I'm going to put it in the chat. If anybody is considered being an MVP member, $3 a month, you can support the channel. It's a fantastic way to support the channel. You guys can see here, I mean, clearly there's a lot of, I think we got around 300 members right now. I see a lot of those obviously highlight a lot of the members that are there. It's a great way to support the channel. No pressure. If you can do it, awesome. If it's not something that you can do, no problem. But if you like what I'm doing here and you like what I'm building here, it's another way to support the channel. I'm putting the link right now in the chat. One click away, you can become a member if that's something that you're interested in. Philip, from the beginning, right out the gate, was actually one of my first here. Gifted 5 MVP memberships tonight. So thank you very much for doing that. Hopefully some people got a chance to take advantage of that. I really, really appreciate you doing that. Mitch Potter came through as well, gifted out 5 MVP memberships. Mitch has done this a few times, has always been on the channel, and has been very gracious on the channel. So I appreciate you doing that. We got a lot of people that are obviously supporting the channel. I hope you guys are, I feel comfortable with the type of community I'm trying to build here. I enjoy it. I'm obviously as genuine as I could be on here. I don't got any, this is just, let's shoot the shit and talk some NBA basketball. I love the NBA, obviously, Lakers basketball, and I appreciate you guys all hanging out. Okay. Lakers and the Blazers coming up on B. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you doing that as well. Thank you very much for gifting out a membership. Lakers Blazers coming up on Sunday in Portland. I hope Lakers don't play anybody. If I could just be honest with everyone, just don't play anybody. I mean, if you told me LeBron and Luka and Austin Reaves and Rui and Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt and Jackson Hayes were all catching a movie in LA at 12:30 on Sunday, I'd be like, cool. It sounds good. Go enjoy the movie. Hope they don't play anybody. I obviously don't think they need to or anything like that. But we'll see what the Lakers end up deciding to do. The bigger question is going to be, Sunday, right after the game. I'll wait till the Lakers are done, but I'll wait till all the NBA games are done too. I need to know who the hell the Lakers are playing before I start that post-game show on Sunday. We'll start talking about what that first-round matchup is going to look like, and that's going to be a fun show. What did we go today? Hour 13? Jesus. This should have been the shortest post-game show I had. I got to get up tomorrow. You know what time I'm getting up tomorrow? 5 a.m. 5 a.m. We'll be up early tomorrow. Crank it out. It'll be fun, and we'll go from there. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for hanging out. John is a new member. Thank you, John. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out. Lakers over the Houston Rockets, 140-109. Lake Show now locked in the number 3 spot. 50 wins on the season and one more regular season game to go. Appreciate everybody. Have a great rest of your night. I will be back on Sunday afternoon. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you guys coming up on Sunday.